Well, hi guys, it is Tuesday night. We're here talking about the best and worst supplements for IBD. So here's the deal. The most common question I get in the natural world of healing IBD and reversing it is supplements. What supplements can I take? What supplements are the best? Which ones are going to hurt me, help me, harm me? We want to know. And so supplements, they can be really nuanced, very hit and miss, but we're going to answer what supplements are best, what works, what doesn't, what's a scam, quite frankly. And a common question we get is, can I replace my medication with supplements or come off supplements and go a natural route? And so we will be talking about that. We'll talk about the best, the worst, and everything in between. So here's the deal. When we're talking about supplements, the first thing I want to cover is, guys, watch out for the scams. There are so many supplement scams. I'll tell you what, Now Foods, if you guys have seen them, they're lovely. So the brand is called Now Foods. They had recently done a study and they actually sampled 43 different supplements across the 15 of the most common popular brands of supplements being sold in the US on Amazon. They took 3 bottles from each, right? A couple of them had 2. But they took 43 different supplements. Now, they had tested them against their quality. If they say it contains 1,000 milligrams of this thing, they wanted to test, does it contain what it contains? And here's the harsh reality of it. And this is why supplements are a scam unless you know your quality, you know your supplier. Out of this one, okay, they tested 43 supplements. Guys, there was 36 that actually failed the potency test. 36 out of 43 failed. That's at like 80 some percent failed. They did not contain what they said they were going to contain. And so here's the scary part. I got the numbers here. They tested 17 products, okay? So 17 of these products had less than 10% of what they said. So 30% of the products on Amazon they tested had less than 10% of what was on the label, which is staggering, okay? And there were another 23 that contained somewhere between 2% and 30%. So we have a shocking amount of fraud going on through Amazon. And they reached out to Amazon and said, hey guys, just so you know. They reached out to the distributors and say, hey, just so you know. And very little has actually been done about it, unfortunately. So you do have to know your suppliers. So here's the deal. We're talking about supplements. So we know Amazon, garbage place to get supplements, a lot of fraud, a lot of trash. This is why I'm very particular about where I get them. But what should you use, or what could you be using for IBD? So when we talk about supplementing, we always want to think, because people often go, well, I have to supplement like a medication. Medication suppresses symptoms, so I can replace my medication with supplements, but I have to be on supplements forever. That's not the case. When we use supplements, we have to keep in mind, if we're supplementing, I want you guys to keep in mind, supplements, they're going to have a purpose, okay? They're going to have an end. So supplements work you toward an end goal. If you're just taking supplements instead of medication, they're keeping things at bay. You're taking Qing Dai, you're taking curcumin, you're taking anti-inflammatories instead of medication, awesome. But now you're on plant-based medication and you're supplement dependent. You shouldn't be supplement dependent because your body is dysfunctional. So if we take supplements, we want to keep them in mind that we're targeting them towards an end goal. Supplements need to have a purpose so you can correct the dysfunction in your body, heal the thing that is causing you to be inflamed, right? If you guys have been around long enough, you know inflammation is not random. Inflammation is just here because your body is trying to heal you from something. So supplements need to have an end goal. The end goal being, we're gonna have to remove the thing that's causing you the problem. That's the biggest one. Are the supplements helping you remove the thing that your body is inflamed to? If you've got parasites, are they anti-parasitic? If you've got fungal issues, are they antifungal? If you've got bacterial issues, are they antimicrobial or microbial balancing? This is the purpose of supplements. They only bridge the gap from dysfunction to function, so you no longer have sickness, illness, disease, you no longer need medication, you no longer need supplements. That is what the goal of supplements needs to be, not simply to replace medication, not simply to band-aid things. We have to have an end goal in mind. And so that being said, what is the end goal, or how do we get there? That's a whole other topic of discussion, but that's what we talk about with you guys through programming. So let's talk about supplements in general. Because I don't know any of you guys where you're at, we have to go through extensive symptomatology to figure out what supplements are best for you as an individual. So today the information I'm going to give you is what supplements generally are very well accepted and needed in IBD to bridge some of the gaps of dysfunction. So the first one we're going to talk about, we'll go through some common ones. So a very common one is Qing Dai. I'm actually going to pair this with curcumin. Both of these have very great anti-inflammatory properties. Specifically, Qing Dai has immunomodulating properties. So what does that mean? Well, you got inflammation, right? It's up here, it should be down here. It brings it down, makes it a bit more manageable, which can be really nice. It makes you're less prone to going into flares. You have less discomfort. That's awesome. But immunomodulation, like this guy does, your immune system should be even keel. But right now it's not, because you've got some kind of inflammatory condition. So you're all over the map. Immunomodulating just brings these a little bit closer together so your imbalances are not highs and lows. It just helps sort of bridge that gap a little bit. And so that's immunomodulation, right? It modulates or rebalances that immune system. So some of these can be very useful. But that's what Qing Dai effectively does. Your immune system is ramped up, you're inflamed, so it's sent into Calvary. These cells create inflammation in an attempt to heal you. They simply modulate those signals to reduce the amount of Calvary, therefore the inflammation. But again, you stop taking it, you go right back. And so we want to talk about some other things. What else is anti-inflammatory? Well, of course, you have your omegas and your omega-3s, specifically something called PRMs, or pro-resolve mediators, which are like a concentrate form from omegas. Also have great anti-inflammatory properties to help manage the level of inflammation you're feeling. Again, they're like medication where it manages inflammation. This can help with that immensely. Omegas, you have to watch your source again, because they're often very rancid, they're old, the refining process, you may as well be taking canola oil a lot of the time, and PRMs can be very expensive. But these are some good anti-inflammatory options. Your Qing Dai, your curcumin, your PRMs, and your omegas can be really nice anti-inflammatories for you guys to kind of help bridge that gap. But again, if you don't want to break the bank, you have to do it with some structure. On the other hand, your body, right? Think about it this way. Your body is the factory. This is going to be you guys. You're all gingerbread men with gigantic arms and heads. You're like if we turn Shrek into a gingerbread man. But here's the body, okay? Right now, there is inflammation all over inside the body. Well, this is the factory. Things are moving. Now, you have factory workers, right? These are your immune cells, okay? Let's put IC, that's your immune cell. So all the immune cells, the factory workers come in and go, well, shit, there's a fire in the warehouse. Let's get in there and start cleaning that mess up. Well, they can't do it with their bare hands, so they need tools. And what are they gonna use for tools? Vitamins and minerals. And so this is like your firefighting team. They need water to put out the fire. You've got inflammation. Your immune cells need to come in. Your body needs to do its job. It needs tools, vitamins, and minerals to do so. And so when you're actively inflamed, chronically inflamed, not only are you, one, burning through resources at an increased rate, but two, you're not digesting, breaking down, and absorbing nutrients into your system to replenish the water, to replenish the tools your cells need to put the fire out. And so we can supplement some of these things. So what we're going to talk about here are the vitamins, the minerals that your body typically needs or will utilize to help put out some of these fires. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, so we're going to talk about replenishing some of those stores. How do we get that? So the first thing we're going to talk about, there's some really good ones out there. One of the most underrated basic supplements. Guys, vitamin D3, always best paired with some vitamin K2. You'll typically see this maybe 5,000 IUs, plus give or take 80 to 100 micrograms of K2 is typically okay, but 100 mics a day, 5,000 to 10,000 IU of vitamin D3 is typically fine, supplemented. But vitamin D3 acts like a hormone, and it regulates over 2,000 genes in the body. That's about 10% of your entire genetic code is regulated with vitamin D. And so we'll think about an autoimmune inflammatory condition that we're told is genetic. Well, we know genetics don't just cause the problem. You can't just genetically just have a disease. Your genetics dictate how you express inflammation. And when you have microbes or nutrient deficiencies, those genes will turn up and turn down. It's something called nutrigenomics, how nutrients actually influence your genes. And so that turns up and turns down. Well, if you want to influence your genes better, give them the tools to help themselves, right? And so vitamin D3 is a really important one. Now you can go out and get it in the sun. So if I go out, I'm pretty pale, minus my tattoos, and you guys can see my belly. I'm like pasty white, right? And so if I go out into the sunshine for about half an hour, I'll probably produce 20 to 30,000 IUs of vitamin D. It comes right through my skin. But if one of my black friends goes out and the same, like straight from Nigeria, very dark skin, they might produce 5,000 IUs or 10,000 in the same amount of time. So skin color and sun absorption does matter. And so the idea being we want to supplement accordingly if we're not getting enough. Now there is a difference from IV to like, oral ingestion, but let's not worry about that for now. So vitamin D3, K2 is phenomenal. Something else we have to look at is called magnesium. We all heard of magnesium. There's a zillion different forms. A really good one during the day can be magnesium threonate. One more midday toward evening is a glycinate or a bisglycinate, can be really nice and a bit more relaxive for some people. I take 1,200 milligrams a day, I feel fine. But magnesium also works in it's a catalyst for over 300 different enzymes and chemical reactions in the body. And so these are your top dogs. Most of us are vitamin D deficient. We get 100 times less light during the day than we should, 100 times more light at night, like fake lights from bright lights and blue lights and cell phones at nighttime. So we're not getting our vitamin D from the sun naturally. And magnesium is so depleted and most of us burn through it like crazy. So these are the first two supplements I recommend people take for all kinds of reasons, to influence your genes, to influence your immune system, to give your body the tools it needs to be as healthy as it can be. Vitamin D3 with K2 and magnesium. Those are a great place to start. Those are basic. Now, let's talk about something else. Your body, one of the biggest things we need to do when dealing with the body is detoxing. Now we talk about what's a detox. Is it a water cleanse? Is it lemon juice? Is it a juice fast? It's not. What detoxing is, your body actually goes through processes. So think of this. You guys got your liver, right? That has what we call your phase 1, 2, and 3 liver detox pathways. That's just some fancy stuff we're gonna skim over. But you have different detox pathways. This is collecting the trash. This is organizing it. This is taking the trash out. Your body will recognize and pull in all this garbage. Your liver filters 4 liters of blood per minute, right? This is the factory, okay? You have all these cells in the liver. These are your factory workers who need vitamins and minerals as tools to do their job. So they need these tools to collect the garbage, toxins in the body being produced by your gut, excess inflammation, all the junk coming in. They need to package it and ship it out. They need tools, vitamins, and minerals to do that. So what do we need for your body, for your liver to do this? There's a great product I use, Detox Phase 1 and 2, and that's actually something we'll talk about where you guys can get some of those later. But these products or these vitamins can be really great. So the first one, vitamin B9, that's known as folate. Now, this is different than folic acid. Folic acid is the artificial form, which in fact, statistically speaking, 44% of the population has a certain gene, you guys might know this, as MTHFR, if you've heard of this one, who will not be able to use folate or folic acid. It has to be a folate, or what we call like an L5 methyl folate. That's going to be a methylated version. This phase 1, 2, 3 we talked about is part of this process of methylation or extracting raw materials. And if you have this gene, 44% of the population does, you can't use folic acid. So it needs to be a proper vitamin B9. Some other ones we can look at that really help with this, of course, are other B vitamins and something called molybdenum. I hope I'm spelling that right. Molybdenum can help with that, manganese, even magnesium. These are great things to help with your liver detoxifying and actually pulling stuff out of your body. Well, why do we need to detoxify? Well, when you have toxins, right, it's like, I use this analogy all the time, right? If you have something puncturing your hand, well, that causes inflammation. Right? Your body brings in immune cells and uses excess resources, vitamins and minerals, to try to get that thing out, to try to heal you. Well, when you have toxins in your body, your immune system is working overtime. It's got invaders. So your security team is like, man, we got shit going on. We got to fix this. We got to get this out. They're working overtime as these toxins settle in to other places. It's like squatters squatting in houses. Well, you've got a problem. You need more police, right? And this is what your vitamins, minerals will do, is be the tools to get those junk out. And so we need to supply them. So these are some really great things to help your liver detoxify, taking the burden down on your immune system so your body doesn't have to work so hard and your immune system won't be so inflamed. Some other great ones that we can use, and you guys, there's another product I'll use, actually, I'll show you about, called Methyl Complete. It helps with that methylation. It's got all the things you need in that. But another one that we can look at here is going to be zinc, specifically something called zinc carnosine, good for the immune system, and it happens to be very good for the gut lining to help repair some of that. Now remember, this, when we're looking to repair the gut lining, you're inflamed, yes. There's fire in the house. It is burning down. Like, what water can I put on it? Zillion things we can use. Aloe, slippery elm, DGL, zinc carnosine, different products, gut fixes, probiotics rather, all kinds of things to put water on. But again, we're putting water on the fire while gasoline is still being poured on the fire. And so it may help manage or bring the flame down, but it's still burning. So I want to reiterate, these are not fixes for your inflammation. They're just an option that may help mitigate the need for medication to help manage some of your symptoms, right? That's the idea. Supplements will not fix you unless you have a specific protocol to use them for a specific root cause and a specific end goal. And that's a big bummer. And some people might turn this off and go, that's not what I want. Well, it may not be what you want to hear, but it sure as hell is what you need to hear, because that's the truth. And this is why so many people stay sick, is they're not willing to look in the mirror and go, maybe I got to do some hard work and really figure this out. So that's the idea. So these are the basics of some of the things that we can utilize to try to heal ourselves or give our body a better chance at anti-inflammatory stuff. I know Anne-Marie had recently asked, let me see, how much magnesium? I have Nutridyne D3 5000 and K2. There's K1, 15 mics, blah, blah, blah. Is this good for 14-year-old, 118 pounds? So Nutridyne is great. They're actually the company that we recommend every time. Ask me how, Anne-Marie, I can actually get you a supplier discount on that. So, well, shit, let's just break the mold on this one now. I was gonna save it for the end, keep you guys enticed, but whatever. So Nutridyne is a company that we actually have a professional relationship with. I'm not sure if you guys listen to my podcast at all. So we had on this week, we just released with Dr. Jeffrey Bland. Dr. Jeffrey Bland is the father of functional medicine. He actually founded the IFM, or the Institute for Functional Medicine, which is a global leader, the global leader in functional medicine, birthed functional medicine to the Western world, works with famous doctors like Mark Hyman and many you know, literally trained hundreds of thousands of doctors and clinicians, which have helped hundreds of millions of people around the world. So he is the father of functional medicine. We just had him on the show, and Nutridyne is actually a company he founded. This is a third generation functional medicine company, best of the best quality, best scrutiny, best everything. And so what we can actually do for you guys, if you guys want to hack on this one, there's two things. I'm going to break the mold on this one now. We'll jump back into the protocol. But Nutridyne, we set up a partnership relationship with them. Anybody who is in our school community, if you guys don't know school, you can comment DIY. The school community is what we've created as just a phenomenal resource for those of you who say, I want to get better, not just like learn some things, but I actually want the steps given to me to get better. How do I find my root? How do I find my inflammation? What steps can I take? What's creating or contributing to inflammation? What supplements do I take? What foods do I eat? It's inside school. And all of our members, we've actually set up with Nutridyne, get 15% off of everything, the whole store, for life across the board. And so you guys can get access to that by just commenting DIY. We'll send you the information to get into school. Not only is it the steps you need to actually get better, but you get discounts on supplementation for life through them as well. They're one of the best companies that we love them. We absolutely love them. They're fantastic. So on to the rest of the questions. So Anne-Marie was asking, let me see, how much magnesium? Magnesium is very different for everyone. So fun story, I almost killed my mom one time by giving her too much. So for me, I take 400 milligrams of magnesium bisglycinate. I take that 3 times per day. Sometimes I take 400 times twice a day, but ultimately I'm anywhere from 800 to 1200 per day. I cannot give you guys medication supplementation dosing, legally speaking. You have to go with what's on the bottle. That's what I have to tell you. What I can say is oftentimes the bottles are enough to get some in your system, but not enough to do anything. Your bank account is in debt, right? This is neutral. Most of us were so inflamed or burning through resources, we're way down here. We don't have anything in the tank. And so we add a little bit of nutrients, which brings it here. Well, you're still in the red, right? We need a surplus to bring us up so that when we take them, we're just keeping our levels normal. And that's oftentimes what happens with supplements. So I can't give you specifically how much. What I can say is I've seen that age go well with 400 to 800 milligrams, depends on activity, inflammation, injury levels, etc. But again, magnesium won't fix the problem, but it can help mitigate some of the damage and the issues. And another question that Anne-Marie asked is, how do you know if you have the MTHFR gene? You don't really. I mean, there's a couple of factors you can see. If folate maybe makes you feel groggy, grumpy, and tired, there are certain foods you might look for. You can get genetic testing. High blood pressure definitely can be a thing. One of the reasons being we need vitamin B9 or folate to regulate certain amino acids. But the challenge is if you don't have those regulated, it actually drives up something called homocysteine. So you can actually go to the doctor, they can test your homocysteine levels. If those are elevated, you probably have this MTHFR gene. And this will also drive up blood pressure in some people, which you can see typically in older adults can be a cause of blood pressure. It's actually a liver problem. It's not your blood pressure, but that's something else. So something to consider. But here's the thing, guys. Getting to the roots, dealing with inflammation and actually getting you fixed is a whole thing by itself. Right? Supplementation, this is again, I want to reiterate this so carefully. Supplementation, no one wants to hear that supplements won't fix them. It's very rare. They go, okay, well, what can I take? I've literally had this whole conversation with somebody before, multiple times over the last 10 years. I've said, well, here are the things that can help, they won't fix you. Okay, but what can I take? I said, what do you want to take them? Well, I want to get rid of inflammation. But you do realize this might help you, but you'll be dependent. Yeah, I get it, but what can I take? So right back to like, how can I be dependent? IBD is reversible, entirely reversible. We have nobody who can't be fixed. Some people are weeks, some people are months, some people are many years. Everyone can get better. It's just a matter of time. And so the idea is if you want to give you supplements, supplements must meet an end goal. Otherwise, you are supplement or plant-based medication dependent. And this isn't the way we want to be. It's a money pit. If you don't want to be reliant on these things forever, constantly doing a balancing and a juggling act, constantly trying to figure out, if I stop taking this, am I going to be out of this? This is out of order. What am I going to do if I flare? You want to actually get better. We need to have an end goal. We need to know what is causing my inflammation and how can I get rid of it and restore the systems in my body so it can heal itself and regulate itself and not be supplement dependent. If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. Let me know, guys, because this is very important stuff. This is the kind of information that I wish doctors talk to their patients about. I wish doctors talk to you guys about this because you're inflamed. It's not random. It's not genetic. It's not unknown. There's always a root. And supplements should be targeted toward that end goal. And so while more questions are coming in, here's what I want to tell you guys. You know the drill. If you've been around long enough and you're like, man, this makes a lot of sense. I've been dealing with this for a long time. I just want to get better. I'm sick of like pussyfooting around. I'm sick of just trying different things. I know people who spend $10,000 a year on colonoscopies and medication. It's crazy. Don't bother. Don't wait. Now, let's see what we got for questions. Anne-Marie says, IBD doctor knows nothing about supplements. Happy to add folic acid. Again, I want to go back to that one, Anne-Marie. Not folic acid, methylfolate, okay? L5 methylfolate. There is, if you're already on Nutridyne, again, if you comment DIY, I can get you that information about getting those big discounts on those supplements, lifetime membership. But they have a product called Methyl Complete, and I think it's Methyl Assist. Methyl Assist, if I'm not mistaken, it's just methylfolate, and Methyl Complete is all the methylation vitamins that are available that someone might lack to help their body clean stuff out. Again, not a fix, but a damn good solution to help in the meantime help your body get stuff out. Yeah, they told her to take folic acid. Unfortunately, that's it, right? Doctors will learn that there are nutrient deficiencies that can cause problems, and then that's it. They skip over. They don't talk about nutrition at all. They go, oh yeah, if you're deficient, here's a symptom you get. Here's a medication to fix that symptom. Kid you not. If you're deficient in this vitamin or mineral, it causes this symptom. Here's the medication to mask the symptom. They don't go, here's the supplement or the vitamin you need to give to fix that dysfunction. They don't even talk about that. It's crazy. Medical school's a freaking joke. But anyway, so that's all we got for you guys for today. You know what to do. If you guys are done, you're like, man, help me. I just want to get this better. Don't wait. It is literally one word away from you finally getting better, reversing your IBD, coming off a medication, being pain-free, bathroom anxiety-free, just getting yourself better. You comment solution, we'll have a chat, see if it's a good fit for you. We can get you better. We have 16 weeks in and out. We'll see what we can do for you. On that note, guys, have an amazing night, and we'll see you next week.